I was cut in half, destroyed, but through its subscribe button, the podcast called to me.
I want to leave. I want to go now. I don't want to come back.
Look at them. They come to this place where they know they are not pure. Our viewers use the keys, but they are mere trespassers. Only I, Peter, know the true power of the podcast. I was cut in half, destroyed, but through its subscribe button, the podcast called to me. It brought me here, and here I was reborn. We cannot blame these creatures. They are being led by a false prophet, an impostor who knows not the secrets of the podcast. Behold our viewers, come to scavenge and desecrate this sacred realm. My podcasters, did I not tell of this day? Did I not prophesize this moment? Now I will stop them. Now, aged, reborn through the energy of the subscribe button, forever bound to the podcast. Let it be known, if our viewers want true salvation, they will lay down their arms and wait for the baptism of my subscribe button. It is time. I will teach these trespassers the redemptive power of my subscribe button. They will learn its simple truth. Our viewers are lost, and they will resist. But I, Peter, will cleanse this place of their impurity.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Alina.
Okay, my turn. Look at them. They come to this place where they know they are. No, hang on. Sorry, you're right. I'll do the other one. I'll do the other monologue.
No, monologues. That was enough. One was enough. We're done.
I'm Cole. Hi.
And I'm apparently going to cleanse you with the power of the subscribe button.
I need to. I'm in physical pain right now.
I'm surprised they got through that without laughing, to be honest.
Me too.
I was
Me
so
fucking
impressed.
too.
I was sitting here like,
literally-
I can't laugh. He's doing so good.
Yeah, you fucking made it, man. Congratulations. Guys, I was fully bent over in my chair, covering my mouth and nose so I don't make a fucking sound. That's why I'm in pain.
I thought you were in pain just
basically
because of
holding my
the joke.
Well, that too. That's psychic damage.
There's teeth marks in my finger from me biting down.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't fucking bite my mouth so hard that I'm surprised I'm not bleeding. God.
Anyway, to those of you who are unenlightened and unable to read the title, this is the Warframe video.
This is the Warframe video. To be 100% clear, because we don't know what the title will be right now, other than it will have Warframe in it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the. Oh, hang on, I got it. I'm still recovering from what you did to me. We're dead.
Oh my god.
Oh god, you know what I'm having flashbacks to right now? I'm remembering the several moments. This happened every time. You can ask Jade about it. This happened every time in band class when we had a substitute teacher. I could not stop fucking laughing. For no reason. And so I would recover for a good, 5 minutes. And because, we'd have to practice playing our fucking instruments. But then, inevitably, when we were finished, and the teacher wasn't teaching, but it was trying to give instruction to people, I would be in my chair as silent as possible, just bent fully in half, laughing my ass off. And I do not know why. I'm afraid this might turn out like that. I may become unrecoverable.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
I
yeah,
totally
Peter
can
will
help
carry
you.
me.
Yeah. Peter, you carry the whole podcast
And
today,
then
won't you?
Peter will also talk for all of the fucking sequel video.
Yeah, I am going to be like the only one talking for the Destiny video.
I saw you play the final shape,
Yeah,
so I have
that's the
opinions.
final shape though. Emphasis on final.
the man, if only I could remember anything from like the 4 years of Spanish lessons I took. The final shape was then the language I once knew. Okay, yeah, so this is as we just fucking alluded to, doing another mini series of videos inside of our mini series of videos inside of the other mini series of videos.
Inside the
Because we got
series of videos known as the
inside the
podcast.
large series of videos that is the podcast. Some kind of podcast inception.
Podception.
Sure.
Go with that.
Where people compare Destiny and Warframe a lot for reasons I don't personally understand. They're very, very different to me.
I definitely don't understand for entirely different reasons. That being, I don't know enough about either.
I mean, you're a resident, played the beginning of Warframe and played the beginning of Destiny 1.
Yeah, Destiny 1 when it first came out and then immediately stopped. I'm existing. I'm existing.
Yippee!
And I'm glad for that.
Woo! I love existing.
Besides, I gotta have my own episode here and there, otherwise I'll just be the funny guy.
Oh, what's so wrong with that?
Lack of substance.
I get bored.
The comedic relief, it bores me.
You're entering this fucking villain arc.
Look at them, they come to this place where they know they are not
No. Illegal
illegal.
crimes. One time, funny story. Okay, it's gonna take us a minute. It's gonna take me a minute to just like fully zone in on the topic. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
We
That's
have
what
time,
editing's
yeah.
for.
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, Alita. This is context both for you and the audience who maybe haven't either have never played Warframe or haven't in a while. That guy is Captain Vor. Don't laugh.
Is there something funny about the name Captain Vor?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Vor is the first. Stop it. Vor is the first boss that you fight.
And also one of the first characters you meet in Warframe.
Yeah, and he canonically dies at the end of that quest, I think.
Yes.
And so he's revived by a crazy weird magic artifact, bisected hot dog, he's bisected hamburger style.
He was cut in half, destroyed.
Yeah, one could say he was cut in half, destroyed, but revived by the power of the Yanis. I'm not looking at the monologue. I don't know how accurate this is.
Yeah, but through its Yanis key, the void called to him.
Yeah, sure did. Sure did do that. Never thought I'd hate the void so much.
As for why he's in the void,
Yanis key is a void artifact. He just got thrown in there because he was attached to it.
Was he attached
Right.
with duct tape or staples?
Some like
Excuse me.
energy equivalent of both at the same time. Like when you encounter him in the void, he's literally two halves of a corpse with an energy ball between them, holding it together.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
The energy ball is his only weak spot. He only takes damage if you hit him where he died. Right in the bisection, the midsection.
right in the
Right in
ball.
the right in the belly button.
Right in the, yeah, you target his. Well, no,
Which he may or may not have, being
probably
Grenier.
doesn't have a belly button. He's a clone. They're born in tanks. Now, Teal Red War and the Tube Men, they may have belly buttons.
Yes, because their genes are pure.
uh, he also shows up in a different place way later. And he has a different monologue there. And one time when Peter and I were playing that part of the fucking game, he used his soundboard to play the first monologue while he was saying the second monologue. And never before or since have I wanted to kill one of my own friends so badly. If only because listening to Vor. Wow. Sorry, I'm just thinking of the possible connotations. Sometimes you gotta like sit and consider the implications.
Sometimes you need to think before you speak. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna. I mean, I did do that. It's his name.
It is his name. It's Vor without an E, so it's, legally distinct.
Really distinct, as if he's in the fucking category of vor fetish can fucking sue you.
I wouldn't put it past it.
I think vor fetish can get past anything, considering the whole thing is revolved around consumption. So anything can get past its gaping maw.
Okay, but who would win? Consumption parentheses Vor or consumption parentheses tuberculosis?
Tuberculosis? Are you kidding? It makes you cough so hard that you puke up the things that you vor. That's probably a different fetish.
And you know what that's a reference to? Grendel. the
Grendel
Vor
from
Warframe.
Warframe. We're going insane. There's too much to talk about.
This is an interesting game so far, guys. It definitely hasn't changed my opinion of either of you in the slightest.
Guys, that's where Warframe gets good. You just gotta play for 200 hours.
You've got to play for the first 100 hours to unlock the character creator, and then an additional 200 hours to get your second character. It's fine.
All you have to do is get through the Vor section.
Yeah, you just listen. You just got to get through the Vor prologue, and it's all good. There's something funny about the name Captain Vor.
Oh, the edited podcast is gonna be short. Short as hell.
But getting back on track.
The
a little bit.
proverbial track.
The first quest you do is actually Awakening, which
Yeah,
is exactly what it sounds like.
The game begins with this very cool animated cutscene that wasn't there a few years ago.
Yes, it has. The prologue has undergone more than one overhaul.
They've changed a lot about the way that the prologue is, and I think made it overall better. An overarching goal of Warframe as it continues development as a live service game is to make the introduction suck less. Because that's with any game that is live service and has over 10 years of stuff that happened. There's so much to do. There's so much to do for so long. And it takes a long time to get caught up or to have access to anything at all in the first place. I've been
Yeah.
taking many steps over the years to try and remedy that. It will never be fixed fully, but at least they're trying.
Yeah,
An
they
attempt was
can
made.
ease the barrier to entry.
They're doing their relative best. Better than a lot
And
of
I mean
other.
they are mostly succeeding on it when they do go through it.
That is true. It does get better when they fix things. It's just also that like at the same time, there's it'll never be fully like working just because there's so much that needs to be shifted around and okay. Anyway, the beginning of the game.
Yes.
It's awakening. You there's a cool cutscene. You have like several flashbacks to some kind of war going on. Uh, these kick-ass robot seaman guys killing a lot of other guys. That's really most of what's going on. There's a monologue happening. It's a woman this time. It's not Captain Vorg.
It's me.
Oh, fucking! He does also get several lines in Awakening, though. He is there.
Yes.
You can't escape. You can't escape Vorg.
It's it's impossible to escape for. But the cutscene primarily the cutscene shows 3 different warframes, which are the available starter warframes that you can pick from: Excalibur, Mag, and Volt, who have abilities that make sense given their names. Excalibur does sword shit, Mag magnetizes, and Volt is a lightning boy.
Volt is my personal favorite of the current starting 3.
Thunderbolt.
Uh,
Yes.
Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt.
if only because I'm not good at aiming, but also because the getting Volt later is more difficult than getting Mag or Excal later. Okay, I'm focusing. I'm trying. I have coffee. Let me take a second.
Yeah, the Awakening quest it serves mostly just as a tutorial.
It is, yeah. It is entirely a tutorial. Awakening is the game's base tutorial. It teaches you movement. It teaches you how to shoot if you've never played a game that has a gun in it before.
It gives you your pick of your starter weapons, uh, 2 options for primary, 2 options for secondary, and 2 options for melee.
Yeah. Uh, hang on. Yeah, I could have sworn one of them was 3, but no, you're right. I was just remembering wrong. It's worth noting a major attraction of Warframe is entirely the movement. The movement is very, very good.
It's
The
also
game
very unique.
is very unique. The game is entirely about moving quickly, killing fast, um, being a mobile weapons platform.
Yeah, pretty much.
uh,
I mean, you play as a space ninja,
well,
and
that's
Warframe
the mark.
basically coined the term bullet jumping.
Yeah, the marketing is all about being a space ninja, and the slogan still is "Ninjas play free." But man, oh man, have we not like done any ninja shit in like fucking 7 years?
Well, yeah, we've got cool space powers now.
Yeah,
Who needs ninja stealth when you can literally fade from reality?
Puts a peace sign, fades.
the Peter Griffin meme of going into the bush.
You mean the Simpson meme?
Yeah.
Sure, they're the same to me. I know they're very different. They're the same to me. They are the same just to me. Because I don't fucking watch either The Simpsons or Family Guy.
That's valid.
Anyway, after the prologue, you are immediately thrown into Vor's prize.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
you meet a few people here who are kind of important, but like not super important.
the game sets up some characters as recurring, which I mean they are recurring, but mostly just in public spaces.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just
recurring if you go to them, but they don't really feature much in the continuous story from
yeah.
that point on. Um, it's basically a whole bunch of setup stuff. You are doing missions to get you used to what the missions are like, and you are unlocking abilities to get you used to what the abilities are like, and you are unlocking aspects of things in your orbiter, which is your little mission control ship, so that you know what the fuck is going on there. You gain like things to modify your weaponry and your warframe itself. It's very much worth noting that you the warframes. Listen, viewer. If you don't know what warframes look like, you can just look up Warframe and like try desperately to avoid any of like the spoiler promo images because some of them are fucking spoilers now.
Yeah, but they're all out of context
They're
spoilers,
all
so
very out of context.
you'll have no idea what is a spoiler or why it is a spoiler.
Yeah. We are going to be covering those spoilers in this video, so if you care about those, like, fuck you.
Fuck you, they're like 4-year-old spoilers at least.
They're God, they are more than 4 years old. The second dream was update AT.
Yeah, I know. I was mostly talking about New War, which, by the way, I do think we should talk about that and the final shape in the third video.
Fair. That's fair, I guess.
I
So
mean,
we
that's
can
the most
compare
direct
them.
comparison.
Yeah. Uh, cool. Yeah. Fuck. Did we cover what the fucking spine of these videos is going to be already? I'm so disjointed right now.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
talk about Warframe. Next video, talk about the next in this miniseries is talk about Destiny. The third in this miniseries is going to be compare the two.
Okay, good. My brain's falling apart at the fucking seat.
Anyway, yeah, we go through Vor's Prize, interacting with NPCs that you will more than likely see again for whatever reason, whether you need currency A, currency B, you want to just buy your way to a weapon instead of having to look for its parts.
That is true. The one of the things that makes Warframe, I think one of the we did briefly talk about this in like our live service games video, or like one of the things that I think makes Warframe very good for a live service game, especially, is the fact that like you pay for time. You pay them money so that you have to not spend time grinding out components and things like that.
Not only that, but there is player-to-player trading. There is player-to-player trading of currency,
Mhm.
currency, weapon parts, Warframe parts. Basically, anything that you can acquire in the game uh, with platinum, the premium currency, you can just as easily acquire through time.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Some things you might take a long time because they are limited event items, but they will circle back around eventually. There is still an element of the fear of missing out, if only because they are still time limited. Even if they do come back eventually, they are initially time limited.
Yeah,
But
but the
it's
only
not
things that are like that
as bad as
at
it
this
could
point
be.
are cosmetic.
Almost all of them are cosmetic. There are a few mods and a few weapons, but none of them are like so incredibly good that you will spend your whole fucking time waiting for them. None of them are so prevalent in the meta that you would like need them to play the game.
Yeah, in fact, some of the best weapons in the game that you can actually get. Well, some of the best weapons in the game that you can uh, get very easily are just given to you during the main story quests.
That's true. There are after the War Within, especially, you get several just very good weapons um, that are just
But,
stellar.
but we're jumping ahead a bit.
We're jumping.
'Cause,
Yeah, it's hard not to.
yeah, Vor's Prize, you meet NPCs, and at the end you fight and kill Vor.
And he does canonically die there, but you can replay his fucking mission to get stuff from him because this is a video game.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
every boss has replayable nodes that you can fight them.
I want to talk about the movement more.
Go ahead.
We're going backwards. We're going
I'm gonna try and formulate where to fucking go with the quest.
I know where to go with the quest. You don't have to worry your fucking head about that right now. You you're gonna have to do a lot of navigating in the next one of these, so I do want to lift some of the weight off you.
Yeah.
I just kidding. I have to drink water. My throat's dry. Sorry. Turns out the body has functions. Who knew? The movement in Warframe is very unique and very, very fun. Even if I am a fucking loser and still just like sprint and roll everywhere, as Peter did say, it did basically coin not just the term bullet jumping, but also kind of the mechanic of it, I think. At least I've not seen anything before or since where it works the same way.
Yeah.
Where it's basically a crouch jump, but you can go really high and really far, really fast. You can
Named
run along
bullet jump
walls.
because you
Yeah.
spin like a bullet through the air when you're doing it.
Exactly. You can run along walls and up walls and run very, very fast. It's just the best. It's all very fluid. I think it works very well regardless if you're on controller or keyboard. It's genuinely one of the best designed parts of the game, and fantastic news. A few months ago, they finally fixed the sticky corner issue. Previously, when you walked near a corner at like an angle, you'd get a little stuck on that corner for a second. And they fixed like 98% of them a few months ago. If anyone ever fucking comes up to you and says, yes, we removed 100% of the instances of this bug, they are lying.
First of all, it's a 12-year-old game at this point. That's never gonna happen. Second of all, God is the early section of this game built on twigs,
Yeah.
dry twigs, very prone to snapping.
At some point in this video, if we have the time, I would like to go back and like cover some of the early history of the studio themselves, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
When we get there. We can always do that in video 3 as well.
Yeah.
The things that happen after this introduction, which is mostly is just mechanics. You do meet essentially a lying the grifter woman. She is Maru. She runs a bazaar. She calls herself a treasure hunter. She is a thief in fancy clothes.
A thief and grave robber.
A thief and grave robber.
So a treasure hunter.
Yes.
Yeah. She does Indiana Jones around. I do think it's worth noting as well at this point that like Maru is technically a very powerful character, or at least is stealthy and is a capable fighter, presumably. It's just also that Warframes are on such an obscene level of scale that she seems like a tiny, puny weakling.
Yeah.
You also meet Darvo. Darvo is barely important, which sucks. I think he could be really fun if they ever chose to include him in the quest ever again.
Yes. Darvo is a con man, and that's about all he is.
Darvo was a con artist. That is basically all he is. I have nothing else to say about Darvo.
The most notable thing about Darvo is that he introduces you to Clem.
We're not going to talk about Clem, really, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, he's a man. He is a man of few words, after all.
Fucking the quest title drop. After that, it is basically just a lot of questing around. The way that Warframe's mission system works is you have several missions on the various planets in the solar system that you can play through. They're all missions of various types. Ones where you have to kill a certain number of enemies, defend an objective. There's like survival missions where it's not like kill X number of enemies while staying alive. It is you have to pick up drops and
you have to pick up life support and extend the timer, and that can go on indefinitely until you are physically incapable of killing the enemies anymore.
or you reach the integer limit and the game explodes. Whichever happens first.
Yeah.
It's that kind of game, basically. The boss nodes are the assassination nodes, where it's you just get to their room in the mission and then you kill their ass and then you
interacting with whatever mostly bad mechanics they throw at you for the bosses.
The boss mechanics are not good for most of this game. The most of the game for a long time is basically just progressing through the star chart. You start on Earth, you go backwards to Mercury, and then you go out all the way to fucking. Technically, the last node is Sedna, but if we're going by ye olde fucking astronomy charts, you go all the way to Pluto. If you're using the old fucking classifications and think of it as a planet, which it isn't, unfortunately, but whatever.
Why you
It's,
gotta
it's,
I'm
fu-
not,
it's
exclude
fucked
Pluto
up
like
what
that,
happened
man?
with Pluto.
I'm not talking about it. The way that it happened was we fucking looked at other astronomical bodies and we found out, hey, Pluto actually has more in common with these other things than all the rest of the planets in our solar system. So it's not like a main planet. If we're gonna
Yeah.
call Pluto a planet, we have to call Sedna a planet, and Sedna has even less in common with the rest of the planets.
Dang, let Sedna in, damn it. Didn't have to strip Pluto of his title like that. Jeez.
You go up through Earth, you go to Mars, you go to both of Mars's moons, go up to Jupiter, then you go to one of Jupiter's moons.
Well, hold on. Before you go to Jupiter,
Yeah, that is true. There are
and
the other
Ceres.
things in between, yeah.
Yeah. You got Phobos and Deimos, which are Mars's moons, and then from Phobos you go to the Void.
You gain access to one branch of the Void. The
One
Void can be accessed by multiple places in the system. You get access to
Phobos
its
is the
first
earliest.
Yeah. Afterwards, you go basically back to Mars. Mars progresses. Mars just goes right to Ceres, right?
Yep.
And then Ceres goes to Jupiter. Jupiter, you go to one of Jupiter's moons, which forget which one it is.
Europa.
You go to Europa, which Europa also connects to the void. Go back to Jupiter. You'll never guess where you go from Jupiter.
Pluto.
the sun.
Wrong. Also wrong. Saturn. From Saturn, you go to Neptune. From Neptune, you go to Pluto.
You mean Uranus?
You go to Uranus first. That's right.
Wait,
I'm
no, you go
sorry.
to Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Void.
Oh, my brain transposed Neptune and Uranus because I want Neptune to be the water planet when it isn't. Yeah, I'm thinking of the order as it's presented in Warframe and not in real life.
But yeah, you go Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Neptune also branches out to the Void. Neptune connects to Pluto, which connects to both Sedna
and
which
Eris.
is and Eris, which is a can of
Basically,
worms we'll open later.
yeah, basically like the final two planets in the game.
The final three sections
final
in the
three.
game, because each one of them has a different faction occupying them.
The game doesn't end at that point whatsoever. For a while as well.
In fact, I would say it begins there.
For a while, Warframe has been kind of removing the requirements for their leveling system, which is mastery rank. You gain your weapons have levels. They go up to level 30 most of the time. Some exceptions do go to 40. The When you fully rank a weapon, you gain experience points towards your account experience. Weapons, warframes, companions, basically everything in the game you can equip, except for cosmetics, has a level. And
For every level, you get some account experience,
Yeah.
and when you level up your account, you take a mastery test, which is basically just a small self-contained mission that you need to complete in order to progress to the next level.
The majority of them are really, really easy, with the few ones that are like unnecessarily difficult.
Yeah. And then you get to like level MR25 and above, and they all just become. You get to a point where like, okay, I got to practice this first, and then figure out what the fuck I'm doing in the mission.
I mean, you do have the ability to practice them like right out the gate. You don't need to immediately take the test.
Yeah.
I always remember to practice my MR tests. Someone else here doesn't.
What do you mean? I have been doing nothing but practicing them ever since MR19.
Mhm.
The fucking wall.
I didn't struggle with that one at all, I think, actually.
That was the one where you needed to sneak around and assassinate things and then liberate the hostage.
Oh, yeah, no, I did that one on my first try. So, well, I did do the practice first, but, like,
Yeah, I did
I've
the
always-
practice and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing in it.
I've always done the practice first because I'm, actually, I actually want to succeed the first time. Fuck you.
I don't have to take any tests. I already graduated.
But you haven't graduated from ninja school.
I didn't go to ninja school.
And that's
Well,
the difference
here's your
between you and I,
problem.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
I
rolled the
went to ninja school.
But yeah, so after you progress through the start, while you're progressing through the star chart, you unlock several different quests.
Yeah, most of them don't super go anywhere for a while. They do include some of the guys that you met. Maru is kind of involved in one of them. You meet a guy called Samaris. He's a weird little freak.
That he is.
The this series of events that you initially do is largely inconsequential, if only because it does relate to the rest of the story, just much looser than one would expect or super want.
Something of note, though, is that on Earth, Venus, and Deimos, there are open world nodes that have their own hub areas and their own quests associated with them. So on
Yeah.
Earth, there is Cetus, which is a quest Sias Vigil, and later on, some others, where you mostly just familiarize yourself with Cetus. On Venus, there is Fortuna with the quest Vox Solaris, which has I would say the most to do with the story at large, just because there are actual characters that come back in the main story there.
This is true. It's also, I think, still the best one.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything you've seen from Warframe without actually having played the game, it is probably the opening cutscene to Fortuna, which is the song We All Live Together.
It's a song so good it's become the like unofficial theme of the game.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've at least heard the name of that song, so there you go.
And on Deimos there is the Necrolisk?
There is the stuff with the Necrolisk. We're gonna come back to the Necrolisk later.
Oh right, I was just trying to remember what the node was called. It's the Cambion Drift. But
Yeah,
that does happen a bit later.
Technically, yeah, you can technically access Demos immediately after you go to Mars, immediately after you finish some missions on Mars. I recommend going to it well later after the second dream or the War Within.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just because the difficulty of the open world is kind of more tuned for later in the game than even the other two are, but also the everything there will make so much more sense if you do it after the second dream or the War Within.
Yep.
Yeah,
Both Fortuna and the Cambion Drift can punch well above their level.
Yeah. the yeah, these locations are important later. We will talk about them more when they become a little more relevant, I think. Just because I feel like it's easier to try and do like we'll do core story things, and then because they're important in the new war, and if we're doing the new war at the same time that we do the final shape, then we'll cover them when we talk about the new war.
Got it.
Is my idea here? The scraps of my brain are forming neurons again.
Oh, here,
Yeah,
let me
after the
fix
intro
that. Look
fucking-
at them. They come to this place when they know.
I was gonna say, after the intro fucking annihilated your neurons.
Of chanting the fucking 7 curses to render the 2 halves of my brain obsolete. Is that what you want? Me
a
to
little
die? You want me to
Uh,
fucking die?
A little bit. It was just really funny.
Fuck, I can't super argue with that. It was pretty funny.
Um.
The rule of gestures sort of overtook it. Sorry.
Yeah, for a while as well, the account level has been either decreased or straight up removed for a lot of the quests. Previously, it was you had to be a certain mastery rank in order to even do this quest.
Yeah,
and
they
then
have removed the MR requirement for all of the main quests. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they just removed it outright for all of the quests.
Yeah, which I think is a good move because I super am of the opinion that like a player's MR is not indicative of necessarily the things they actually have access to or the actual like ability of the player themselves. Um, I'm not the hugest fan of the MR system. I actually super hate it. I have my loadout that I really like, and I want to use nothing but that. But if I want my MR to go up, I need to use other weapons and other warframes and other companions and all this shit, and I don't want to. I want the rewards, damn it.
Give me the prizes.
Would love the prizes.
I'll get the prizes at the prize booth eventually if I just keep doing the fucking go-kart game in the arcade over and over and over again.
You're damn right. I love that go-kart game.
It's the best
It's where I
game.
live.
It's where I live in the arcade cabinet.
You can't beat me.
I'm in the game.
I'm in the game.
Literally.
Ah. You unlock more story things as stuff progresses. And we start getting like little hints that things are like super weird and fucked up. And one of the first really significant ones that we get is hang on, let me
It is Nata.
It is Nata, the quest Nata. Thank you. I had to make sure of that. The
I've
quest
got them all in front of me.
Thank you.
I have
the quest
board.
The quest Nata features a few characters that we haven't super talked about yet. Which is one of them is the Lotus. The Lotus is your guide. She is mission control. She is the person who feeds you all of your information. She is very important. Her entire thing in this quest is characters being like, maybe she's not who you believe that she is. Maybe she's lied to your fucking ass.
Or it's less of a lie and more. I guess it is a lie of omission more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, until she's pressed on the matter, in which case she does just outright lie to you. But yeah, once you get to Uranus, you can.
Whoa, hold on there, Buckaroo. We gotta talk about Teshi.
She doesn't go up in the quest until like until you actually start the quest. I'm talking about starting the quest.
Sure. I'll let this one slide.
Hold on there.
Hold on to your hat there, cowboy.
Get a hold of your britches there.
Make sure your chaps have an ass.
Your overalls on one leg at a time.
Make sure you have a little help getting on the horse there, pal. Oh, this is my favorite bit right now. Holy shit. Fucking god. Oh.
Anyway, on Uranus there are these mysterious drones that are just kind of doing something there. They just show up on missions, and when you interact with them, they go away. So the Lotus will ask you to scan them, assuming that they are of Corpus origin.
They're not.
Also, it is important to note Corpus is one
Are
of
we
the three
not-
main factions in the game. You got Corpus, Grenier, and Infested. Corpus are the closest to like normal human people that we see on Earth.
Yeah, worth noting there are no more normal human people. They're all gone. Everyone's at least a little bit fucked up, like physically.
Yeah, you got the Corpus, which are clones, but they're not as they don't suffer from clone rot like the Grenier do. Instead, they suffer from brain rot, capitalist brain rot.
The Corpus I also think aren't all clones. They like a branch of the Corpus are clones, but most of the Corpus are born. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree.
Oh. Something's happened to her brain.
Yes, I agree.
Well, not my problem. Anyway, I'm
The
sure she'll be
Grenier,
fine in the next few minutes.
the Grenier are, they're clones of they are a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone of however long their fucking ancestry is. They're clones all the way down, which has led to a lot of physical deformities.
Have
Like-
you ever compressed a fucking image over and over again? They're the crunchiest JPEGs you ever did see.
Genetically.
Genetically. They also
Crispy
are
and-
crunchy when you hit them and all their bones break.
Yes. Which you will be doing a lot of. You will be crunching a lot of bones.
I'm about to multiply 206 by 10.
Well, a lot of Grenier probably don't have 206 bones.
That's true, because in order to, since they're suffering from clone rot, a lot of Granones?
Grenone! I should have Grenone. This would happen.
A lot of Grenier clones, they come out and like their leg is all twisted around. They come out the
Or
vat
just
with
missing.
like or just missing. So a lot of them do have like cybernetic enhancements. Generally, the higher up a ladder a Grenier is, the more likely it is for them to have either like high grade cybernetics that don't need to be replaced as frequently, or they have like not necessarily reversed the clone rot, but have healthier bodies by I think just taking living tissue
Yeah.
and putting it in, replacing their own bits with it. It's not a Godric the Grafted situation from Elden Ring where they like put more limbs on themselves. They replace their fucked up arm with someone else's less fucked up arm.
Yeah. And
Unless you're
all of the Grenier are clones of are descendants rather of like a few sets of ancient DNA that have long since withered away, so they're just cloning the most pristine of them and hoping the clone rot stays at bay. It doesn't. They're dying.
Grenier are all slowly dying. The Corpus are also kind of eating themselves alive because they are sustained almost entirely off of slave labor. And the moment that they don't have the slave labor anymore,
they just gone.
They kind of just all their shit crumbles.
I'm here to tell you that we've abolished slavery.
I think it's a really fun discussion to be had thematically in Warframe about how, like, initially when the Corpus were founded, they didn't use slave labor and instead used as much automation as possible. And then, like, centuries down the line, when the game actually takes place, they're like, nah, actually, we love this shit.
That being said, they do still use automated labor.
They do still use a lot of automated
on top
labor.
Of slave labor.
Yeah, and then they use slave labor to build their fucking robots.
Like, how do we build the robots? Is like, could we just build robots to build the robots? No.
No, then we'd have to build those robots. And how do we do that?
I don't
slave
wanna.
Labor.
I don't want to.
Slave labor is the blood sweat of capitalism. I think it's done in capitalist society without slave labor, or at least sweatshop labor.
Discord ate so many of like the syllables of what you said for me, which I think is really funny.
I can only hope they showed up on the podcast.
I got what you said easily. Oh man, it was like it ate like every other syllable.
Yeah. I think all I heard was capitalism.
Anyway.
Now that I've made my point
finally
loud and
covered
clear.
the factions, like at least half an hour. How far in are we?
We're an hour in.
Yeah, finally covered the factions. Maybe like
actually, sorry, minus
like 40 minutes in, maybe because like faffing.
Yeah, minus faffing. It's like like hold on. We'd faff for like 15 minutes. 10 minutes.
Then it took a while to start.
So 55 minutes, I think. Yeah, 55
regardless,
minutes.
The factions are covered. Oh, stop. Now they're covered. Yeah, on Uranus, there are drones that the Lotus sends you to investigate because they might be Corpus, but they're not.
Yeah, she wants to know what they're doing on Uranus specifically because the Uranus is Grenier territory. It's worth noting as well. Every planet in Warframe universe has been extremely terraformed. Only one of the gas giants is still a gas giant, and that is Jupiter. Actually, no, I think Saturn is also still a gas giant. The game on Saturn takes place. So yeah, it's all like ships and asteroid bases. But both Neptune and Uranus now have fucking land. And Uranus is a full fucking ocean planet. It is mostly a Grenier base as well, so we're trying to figure out what the fuck the Corpus are doing there if those are Corpus drones.
Yeah. And once you scan them with your scanner, the Lotus realizes that they are A, not Corpus, and B, something that she was kind of hoping wouldn't show up and cuts off transmission with you.
Yeah.
And immediately after that, you get a Discord call from a guy named Teshin,
Hessian, my favorite space uncle.
who up until this point has just been in relay. He's just been in hub areas for the PvP section of Warframe, which
The
doesn't
much
exist.
neglected PvP section of Warframe. Yeah. Warframe is a syndicate system where it's a faction thing, and the way you interact with them is there's a core NPC that is like the vendor and the leader of that thing. And Teshin is the only guy there for the Conclave Syndicate. His whole thing is that he's training you. Unfortunately, Conclave has been neglected for a really long time, despite the fact that I think it does have so much potential if they just like fixed some of the problems with it. I understand it's not the design priority right now, but I would love a Conclave 2 one day.
Someday.
Someday they'll just say Conclave 2 in a dev short and everyone will lose their minds.
Yeah, they'll say Conclave 2 and the dev short. It'll be a 15-second dev short.
How? It'll be the best one, just because Conclave 2. Better than the one where they inadvertently confirmed infested liches.
Yeah.
Teshin shows up. So yeah, Teshin has been technically maybe training you if you've somehow found someone to play Conclave with. And like gain fucking rank in that faction.
And he started talking about a whole bunch of shit, including the Orokin, which are up until this point
largely background.
some ancient nebulous background civilization.
The things we know for sure about the Orokin at this point in the game is they existed a super ass long time ago. The Tenno themselves, which is what you are playing as, you are playing as a Tenno, and and the Warframe. You, the Warframe, the Tenno.
Yeah.
Warframe and Tenno are basically synonyms. They are used as such for much of the game. You as the Tenno are like a myth from the Orokin era. You don't remember any of it. You just kind of woke up here, but you are technically from then. And the Orokin used a lot of void-based things to power their civilization. As a power source, as a means of travel, as a means of basically everything. They used it for everything that they could. That's most of what we know about them at that point in the game for certain. There are other things you could speculate, like their society seems especially fucked up because you can find lore details about an execution method called the Jade Light, which is supposed to be very painful. Or if you find like certain fragments, you find a guy who really wants to find out about the lore of a guy who desperately wanted to kill all of them.
Yeah.
Best character in the game, by the way, who we don't have any fucking time to talk about.
Yeah.
My poor boy!
We gotta move! We gotta go!
These things are from the Orokin era as well. And you learn throughout this quest that they're from the old war.
Namely, the side of the old war that fought against the Orokin, called the Sentient.
Not just the side of the old war that fought against the Orokin. The side of the old war that fought against you, motherfucker! Because this is not like hidden lore at this point in time. This is stuff that's like pretty well stated about the Tenno for a while. The Tenno,
You did fight in the old war.
you did fight in the old war. You fought these guys in the old war. But you know why the Orokin Society isn't around if they technically won the war? We killed them all.
Yeah, because they sucked.
Killed all of the Orokin in one night after winning the old war during a thing for their celebration, a celebration of the Tenno honor. Killed all those fuckers. And
the Lotus, after much poking and prodding, reveals that her old name was Nata, and she was originally a sentient. And she was ordered to infiltrate the Orokin Empire and kill the Tenno. She chose not to, and instead, did the old switcheroo.
and she became your mom instead.
Yeah.
She does say at the end
She
of,
literally says that I was the daughter until I destroyed her. Now I am the Lotus. Now I am the mother.
yay!
Yay!
Hooray for surprise adoption.
Congratulations.
I'm your mom now. What? Yep.
The main reason for that
I'm
is
your mom the
because
whole time.
the main reason for her taking sides is that sentients were originally created by the Orokin with a weakness to void energy, which is the only way to travel to and from where the sentients are.
Right, yeah.
So traveling through the void sterilized, and the
Yeah.
Lotus Nata wanted to be a mother, but couldn't after having traveled through the void.
Extremely worth noting, the sentients are sentient machines. They were sent to a different star system in order to
colonize it, because the Orokin were ruining this one.
Yeah, to terraform and colonize it in preparation for the Orokin's arrival. Upon arriving, they gained sentience. Specifically, they were designed to adapt to anything, which is why, which is part of how they gained sentience. I think.
Yeah, they were programmed with a weakness to void energy in case they became sentient, and the Orokin were like, but they're really adaptive, so we need some way of countering them.
Yeah, it's worth noting at this point that the Orokin are this is the Orokin after this point gain a reputation of everything they create turning against them inevitably. It starts with the sentience. It gets worse. The sentients arrive in that star system, gain sentience, not plural, but with a CE, and
gain sentience noun.
Yeah, and return to the origin system, the soul system, to fucking declare war. However, the trip through the void does leave them unable to have any fucking progeny. And they are people, so they do. Sentients are really weird, where part of the way that they have kids is they split off smaller versions of themselves. And if that
they're like bacteria in that sense. They don't actually they don't sexually reproduce. They're machines. Sexually reproduce by just cutting off an arm, and that arm turns into a whole ass sentient.
But most sentients that we run into are basically flakes of skin, for lack of a better term coming to mind. They are so tiny compared to the real thing, and they are very small, and they don't have their own minds, right? If the sentient part that is split off is too small, it does not then bear a mind of its own and become a whole person.
So it ends up just becoming a drone, which is what we mostly encounter.
Yeah.
However, it is worth noting It is worth noting that on Uranus, where the entire Natak quest takes place,
Yeah, you wonder why the Lotus referred to her to Nata as the daughter. Turns out
she
that
has a father. His name is Hunhow, and he's been buried in Uranus since the old war, and we accidentally woke him up.
well, we didn't wake him up. The Grenier woke him up. Teal fucking Regger wakes him up because he's like, I want to reverse the Grenier clone rot, so I'm gonna poke around in all this ancient bullshit, and wakes up the biggest threat to the fucking origin system as it is right now.
I mean, I don't fucking blame him for doing that. It's just
I do blame him for doing that. We warned his ass.
We did warn his ass. His people are dying, though.
Yeah, but we told him, like, hey, that's not the fucking secret to reversing clone rot. That's a man. There's a guy in there.
That guy told the secret to the universe.
That guy hates you. That guy hates everyone. That guy is also, like, fucking, like, 50 stories tall, minimum.
Minimum. He is massive.
It's worth noting as well, Hunhow is confused as to why he's being woken up like this, because he thought the plan was finished until he woke up like so many years later, because him being buried on Uranus is a part of the plan. The plan to have Nata infiltrate the Orokin and kill the Tenno from within involved him dying, or pretending to die, or being defeated, or whatever, so that the Orokin would think they had won the war, and then Nata, before she was Lotus, would sabotage them from within, and kill them all and free him. But that didn't happen.
Yeah, she betrayed the sentients after the quote-unquote plan had already underwent
The beginning of the plan.
He was left alone with our thoughts, and it was like, wait a minute.
Hold on a second. What if I don't want to, like, kill a whole civilization?
And so she didn't.
And I'm your mom now.
And that's the Nata quest.
The quest immediately afterwards.
It's the second dream, which is where things really pick up. I mean, Nata is where things started to pick up. But...
Yeah. The second dream is, I mean, every quest after this point I could say is one of my favorites in Warframe, honestly.
Yeah.
The New War is still my, like, absolute favorite, and I think it will probably...
It'll probably remain that way unless 1999 is fucking...
Yeah, unless Warframe 1999 is, like, the best thing since sliced bread.
Which it might be. Did you see that fucking gameplay trailer?
Yes! We were talking to each other while we both watched it. We were messaging back and forth, and when the motorcycles happened, I think it was just screaming.
Yeah. But the second dream starts with a cutscene featuring Hunhow and the Stalker, who up until this point, he will send you a message whenever you kill a boss across the star chart saying your actions have consequences, and then it'll just show up in one of your missions and try to kill you.
Yeah, Stalker is kind of a tough guy to deal with if you don't have, like, particularly good equipment. So that for, like, the first few times you see him, he's kind of a hard fight. And then every time afterwards, he's a total fucking pushover that you can explode with a glance.
Yep.
Doesn't stop him from trying, though.
But the opening of this quest is Hunhow and the Stalker, specifically the Stalker, talking to Hunhow. Or rather, I guess it's the other way around mostly.
No,
Stalker doesn't talk much.
Doesn't have any voice lines in this whole quest, I think.
He has a few, but they're one word mostly.
That sounds like him.
And Hunhow is basically talking to the Stalker about how, the Tenno are virtually unkillable and also the worst. And, the Stalker already fights us for seemingly no reason. So allying with the sentients just makes
Totally
sense.
cool. He's down with it.
And Hanhao bequeaths a new sword and new drip upon the stalker, turning him into the Shadow Stalker.
It's worth noting that sword, the War Sword, is technically also a shard of Hunhao himself. He can talk to the Stalker through the sword, so Stalker doesn't have to be on Uranus the whole time.
Yes.
After this point is essentially Stalker and Hunhao, if I recall correctly, I don't have the full thing open right now. They are trying to find the Tenno penultimate weakness, and you are trying to stop them.
Yes, because you also don't know what that weakness is. It's just referred to as the reservoir by the Lotus.
Yeah, she calls it both your weakness and your strength. She calls it the source of your power, but also if fucking anyone else goes there, they could kill you forever.
Oh,
You don't want to die forever, do you?
no. Not usually.
Exactly.
But Hanhao has also been trying to psychically dominate the Lotus.
Yeah. Yeah, he has been, hasn't he?
So you're sent to first gain knowledge on Hanhao. Then you need to gain assistance from Alid V, who is a previous boss node on Jupiter. Also, just all around fucked up guy.
Supremely fucked up guy. Yeah. You end up going to a fun thing about the Warframe world as it is at this point. Is that Earth doesn't have a moon. You can look up in the sky in the open world at night, and there won't be a moon there. You can look at the star chart, there's no moon.
Yeah.
This is never remarked upon by anybody. It's just normal to them.
Yeah, because it was destroyed during the Old War.
Yeah. Turns out the reservoir is on the moon, and the moon is real, and the moon is in the void.
Yeah, the moon was fucking shunted 5 feet into a different dimension.
Oh.
And
the Lotus put it there somehow.
the Lotus put it there to protect the reservoir.
To protect the reservoir because the
Under
sentience...
the guise of it being destroyed.
Yeah, specifically since the void is the sentience weakness, they can't go in the void at all without dying. So she thought it would be safe there, but since the Stalker isn't a sentient, he can go there if he finds the way there, which is what you're trying to stop him from doing in the first place. And then during the mind link between Hanhao and the Lotus, while he's trying to mentally dominate her, she briefly does the link in reverse to try and figure out what his plan is. This was apparently his plan was for her to try and do that. Since the link goes both ways, he now knows where the reservoir is and how to get there. So you basically follow the Stalker through, get onto the moon in the void, go to the reservoir. The only hope now, currently as it is to just get there before the Stalker.
And you do. By a hair.
By a hair. You're barely there faster than him. worth noting, the entire time, the interaction with the moon and the void at all is causing it to fuck up. The moon is not supposed to be in the fucking void.
Yes.
It starts to physically crumble. And eventually, at sort of around the same time as you're arriving at the reservoir, the conclusion that the Lotus unfortunately comes to is that the only way for the moon and the reservoir to keep existing is to bring it back into physical space.
And while you're exploring while you're going through these missions on the moon, you're hearing disembodied voices belonging to two people, a man and a woman. One named the man named Ballas and the woman named Margulis, talking about the fate of devils, referring to the Tenno.
Eventually, you arrive at the reservoir. The game does one of its coolest tricks that I love the fuck out of whenever it does it. Where your screen, as the reservoir comes up, you see it's like several cryopods, sort of in the vague shape of a lotus flower. Haha, very fun. The one of them in particular extends towards you, and then your screen violently glitches and cuts to black. And when the camera comes back on, it is focused
You're in a character creator.
Well, no, not yet. That comes later.
Oh.
I can't believe
When
you
the camera
froze.
comes back on, it is focused on the cryopod as it opens, and a little like a human kid crawls out of it.
Oh my god, a child.
It's you.
Yes, it is.
At that point, then Stalker shows up and is like, "Gonna kill your ass."
It's worth noting that at this point, the Stalker does not recognize the kid in the cryopod as you or as Tenno, so he just stabs your Warframe.
He's pretty confused by the whole situation. He does leave for the current moment because the moon is phasing back into reality and it's kind of crumbling a little bit. So, like, for his safety, he leaves, and you crawl because your legs haven't been used in centuries. Over to your Warframe, you give it a slight touch, you pick yourself up, and start walking out of there. Since
the Warframe that you are controlling picks up the human you.
Yeah, you pick yourself up physically, like a baby.
Yes, and bring yourself back to the orbiter.
The Lotus directs you to a room in the back of the orbiter, a door that has been closed the whole time that you could not open. Finally is open now. Go in there. There's a little chair. You got to charge it up with the little void beam power that you have by default. And as you're doing this, the fucking Stalker shows back up and is like, "Actually, I'm going to kill you after all."
Well, yeah, after Han Hao has explained the situation to him.
Yeah.
He follows you back to your orbiter, and
which he can just teleport into you.
Does just teleport in here. He's just got that ability.
He can just do that whenever he wants, honestly.
He usually he doesn't beyond this point because he knows we'll whoop his ass.
Yeah. He tries to prevent you from charging up the chair. You manage to do it anyway. But as the chair does like a little shockwave every time it starts charging, and it does the final shockwave, it knocks your human body off from your Warframe, meaning that your Warframe goes limp, and you start crawling over to the chair, but Stalker is still here, fully stabbing your Warframe through with the sword again, and starts walking up to you. And Han Hao is antagonizing him the whole time, being like, "You gotta kill this guy. I know you're, like, weird and fucked up morally in your brain, but, like, Kill that child.
Kill that child.
Stalker does start sort of trying to kill you as he starts choking you.
Oh no.
But at the last moment, your Warframe seems to undergo a transference surge.
Which is basically just the kid, the child in you, the whimsy, the unbridled whimsy in you, taking control once more.
Breaks the sword that impaled in it in half, which causes the Stalker for some reason to turn into smoke and vanish. I don't know why that
because
happened.
it severs the link between the Stalker and Hunhow.
Sure, but like, why is that? How that happens?
Psychic attack.
Psychic attack. Stalky vanishes, and the Lotus shows up afterwards. She gently carries you towards the chair, sets your human body in it, and now you're in the character creation screen.
Yes.
It took 100 hours. More like, to be honest, more like 50, but still quite a while.
With all the things that have, lowered the barrier to entry, yes, now it's 50.
Previously, it was 100.
If only because, the fucking quest came out like 6 years into the game.
Yeah. Believe you 6 years of content first.
Never mind. It's far less than I thought. Because that was 2015.
True. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was 9 years ago.
Yeah, it was 9 years ago. For all we fucking jest about the fact that like it takes forever to get to the character creator in Warframe, the second stream was added like relatively early in its lifespan. It is update like
18.
It is update 18, but the first several updates before then came out pretty fast.
Yeah.
You do the character creator. You unlock a new mechanic by doing like a personality quiz. We're not going to cover that new mechanic at all. We're going to skip right past it.
Yep. To the next quest, which deals directly with that new mechanic.
Shut up. It doesn't deal directly with that new mechanic. It deals with a different new mechanic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I thought you were talking about Operator as the new mechanic, not
No, I'm
Focus.
talking about Focus as the new mechanic. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Focus is too complex to talk about in this video.
Yeah.
Like
the fucking rest of the plot we've been describing so far hasn't.
Shut up.
Sure.
The important thing.
Oh.
Fuck you. The important thing. Welcome to the podcast. We're fucking children. We are absolute fools.
Everyone on the internet is a child.
It's in the name of the fucking. Yeah, you're right. Everyone on the internet is a goddamn kid. We've unlocked the whimsy in us.
Yeah.
We are all full of whimsy.
Canonically unlocked the joyous whimsy of childhood fun once more.
I'm overflowing with whimsy. Send help. It's too much.
It's spilling onto the floor.
It's clean it up with your squeaky clown shoes. Pull out your forever hanky.
Unfortunately, I don't have those things. I think you're thinking of what you have.
You fucking clown.
Honk. Honk honk.
Honk honk.
Anyway, next quest.
No, I didn't say the important thing.
Oh, fine. What's the important thing?
The Lotus is there physically.
Oh yeah, no, this is the first time that you've actually seen the Lotus in person.
Yeah. And also, like, now it makes sense as to why she calls herself your mom, because your fucking dude is a kid.
Yeah.
And also a soldier. Welcome to Child Soldier, the video game.
Anyway, now it's next time.
Now it's next quest time. War Within is easily, I think, one of my favorite quests. I'm gonna say that about every quest.
Yeah. But the War Within starts with
Well, cinematic, right?
uh
It technically starts with a little cinematic.
it does start with a cinematic. I believe.
Yeah, it's a cinematic of two characters we've never seen before, but you can tell that they're Grenier from their appearances, and you can infer
Right.
you can infer probably that they're the Grenier Queens because if you pay a lot of attention, you hear Grenier like while you're fighting them say "for the Queens."
Specifically Vor.
Yeah, God, he does say that a lot. God, Vor talks about the Queens so much.
Fucking simp.
Also Vor talks about the Queens in the intro quest, where he's like, "With your divine body, I will cure myself and sire many children with the Queens." Bro thinks he's gonna have a lot of sex. He doesn't get to because you kill him. And it's dubious whether or not the Queens would ever engage in that kind of relationship with him in the first place. He might just be delusional.
He's just like, that's it. I'm gonna fuck your mom.
Dolores!
My queens, I have subscribed to your OnlyFans for 6 years now.
I'm a tier 3 sub. That means you have to show me your tits.
I don't think you would want to see the Grenier Queens anything.
I don't think you'd want to see the Greniers anything.
Any of
They
the
are
Greniers
still
bodies.
suffering horribly from bone rot.
They are all literally rotting as they are alive.
Sounds like Mr. Vor over here is also into necrophilia.
Well, I mean, maybe. It's worth it. Vor himself is rotting to pieces. So are
so
the
it's
Queens.
like-
So
It's a Coraline situation.
Oh,
Or no, not Coraline, Corpse Bride.
I was about to say.
I forget that those are two separate movies a lot of the time.
Forget those. They're such different movies.
I haven't seen either of them in years.
Okay, me neither. And
I only saw them one. When I say years, I mean like I was a single digits.
Okay, I've at least seen Coraline like 3 times, and one time I was 10, so I guess I have that one up on you.
Yeah. Look, they're both animated in the same fucking style. They're both Tim Burton movies.
Like, I don't think was Coraline a Tim Burton movie.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it was a Tim
Really?
Burton movie at all.
It's
No.
stop motion. I'll give you that, but I don't think. Hold on. We're getting sidetracked, but hold on.
Yeah, they are both stop motion movies, but like one of them is by Studio.
Oh my god! Stop listening to me. Google. I typed "who direct" and it immediately was like, "who directed Coraline?" Fuck's sake.
We all know that everything these days is filled with spyware.
I know, it's just don't do it that instantly. Give me some hope. Okay,
Take a little time with it.
chill. Okay. The director of Coraline is Henry Selick.
I thought so.
Yeah, so
Okay.
not Tim Burton.
I think Selick is also. I think Selick and Burton both worked on A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, that would make sense.
And like by all reports, Burton's like a fucking nightmare to work with, which I think makes complete sense. Have you seen that guy?
There's also the fact that they have the same fucking color scheme for the entire movie.
I think you might be misremembering what Coraline looks like.
Is it not black, white, and blue?
No.
No.
Hey, what the fuck?
I think you
Like,
might
yeah,
need to...
there are parts of Coraline where like things are pretty dreary, but like it's meant to juxtapose like the real world and like the fictional else world she gets stuck in for a while. Or like the
I
other
think I'm
world is
only
really
remembering Corpse Bride at this point.
bright. The other world is like really bright and colorful, and then like the normal world is normal. Like, and it's like raining all the time in the real world too.
Perhaps I've never seen Coraline.
Good movie, and I do recommend it.
Yes.
My
It's good.
favorite change in adaptation from Coraline the book to Coraline the movie is the tunnel that she crawls through. Because
Mhm.
I think the tunnel in the book is so fucked up. The tunnel itself is also like not a safe thing at all. It is already pretty creepy. Just by going in there, she gets the feeling that like if she stays there too long, something will just eat her whole. Not like literally physically eat her, but like the yawning abyss will just devour her mind, body, and soul.
Dang.
Coraline is technically a kid's book, but it's one of those kids' books that's like genuinely fucking scary.
It's one
Yeah,
of those
it's
kids'
a
books that
German
are
kid's
not
book.
for children.
A German kids' book. It was written by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, for German children.
Okay, I don't know what children he wrote it for, so I guess you have me on that.
Look, I'm just reminded by, all the classic German fairy tales that end with kids getting eaten, or kids getting stabbed, or kids getting eaten and stabbed.
I love being cooked alive. It's my favorite pastime as a child when I was a kid.
Yeah, or encountering the fabled creature Das Kinderschredder.
Das Kinderschredder.
That sounds made up. Is that real?
Yes, it's fake. It's made up. It's made up. The fact that I had you there.
You could almost convince. If you dedicated yourself to the bit, you could have convinced me that was real. Das Kinderschredder.
Gather around the fire, children. Today we are talking about the Kinderschredder.
Today we are talking about Das Kinderschredder, and he just holds up several knives in between his fingers.
I am the Wolverine.
You see, Das Kinderschredder. It shreds Das Kinders.
Do I have volunteers?
So if you are bad children, he will appear in your room at night and shred you.
And shred you.
From the toes up.
From the toes up. Please, this is a modern fairy tale now, I'm deciding, and it's inspired by like you put a paper through the shredder and that's the demonstration. That's what Das Kinderschredder does to you from the toes up.
Yeah.
You put little Billy through the shredder, and that's the demonstration of what'll happen.
You know, you have like a little paper cutout and you put it in the shredder.
You have a fully sized cardboard cutout of little Billy, and you put it.
Yeah,
in the
of
shredder.
German child, little Billy.
Little Billy, yes.
No, little German boy, don't interact with Das Kinderschredder.
Oh my god. I'm going to fucking die.
Oh my god, I'm being kinder shredded.
What a Kinder surprise.
The Kinder, it is shredding.
Anyway, back to the Warframe quest. The war within.
This is a war within ourselves. For how long we want to do this bit.
The war within against whims.
No, we've just rediscovered our childish whimsy and saved it from being stabbed by the stalker.
Yeah, now it's derailing the fucking podcast.
Now our childish whimsy has to go contend with horrors beyond its comprehension.
Oh, the
German
internet?
fairy tales and the Grenier Queens.
Those are two very different responses.
Not simultaneously. Deal with the Grenier Queens first, and then, the German fairy tales later. An unspecified date.
You must kill the queens and also the Kinder Shredder's here, and it's coming to get you.
The Kinder Shredder is like just out of the corner of your eye at all times when you're playing Warframe. It's like
What do you mean? It shows up. It shows up in the next quest, the Chains of Harrow.
The Kinder Shredder is like the fucking ghost in Silent Hill PT, where it's
it's just always
it's
like
just
behind
always just always out of the camera's angle, always out of the camera's view,
you. Yeah.
waiting for the moment that it finally gets on film, and then it leaps out of your computer like a creepypasta. And if you're under the age of 18,
You're getting shredded.
you get shredded. Turning 18 tomorrow? Too bad.
Yeah. First, it makes you fill out a captcha to see if you're 18.
A bunch of knives came out of my computer screen. I didn't think much of it at the time.
I didn't think much of it at the time. Also, I could no longer think because my head was bisected in two and being shredded at the same time. So how did I write this story, you ask? It's because it wasn't me, it was I, Das Kinderschredder.
It's so hard to type with the fingers that are made of knives.
My favorite stupid creepypasta twist is when it's revealed at the end that, like, the writer turns into the fucking creepy whatever.
The creepy one.
The writer turns into the scary spaghetti. The spooky noodle. What else can I say here? Horror penne.
I mean, I kind of want to just call them horror derves.
The screamy fettuccine. Monstrous mac and cheese.
Yeah. Some terror tortellini. Okay.
Warframe. Warframe, please. Das Kinder needs to go.
Das Kinderschredder needs to go to work now.
Go shred the Kinders. We need to talk about Warframe.
Okay, bye. Door closed, SFX. Peter, what happened? What happened to the start of this quest? I don't quite remember. I remember what. No, I think I do. Actually,
it is
never
the
mind.
cutscene between the Grenier Queens talking about continuity, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
And this takes place immediately after the second dream.
I think technically it's supposed to take place like a little bit after, like by a few months, but
really, because I mean the
feel
operator's
supposed to
kind of fucked up right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's supposed to. There's supposed to be enough time between the two that like you can physically walk when you couldn't before.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, the Lotus sends you to Lua to
investigate some weirdness.
something.
Yeah, there's some weirdness going on.
You encounter a shadowy figure that can more or less just teleport.
Yeah, and you
That
follow it.
You
start
think
following.
is Teshin.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And you get there, and it sure is Teshin. You get to the reservoir, where he examines a thing on the ground, a little shiny red thing. He crushes it, and he's mad. He's mad at you for following it. you think you're safe behind this metal, but you're not. That's the only thing he says that I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the gist. It's like
Um,
you are not as safe as you think you are. Behind this, you are still just a child, and your Tenno's like mad that you got called a kid. Also, yeah, you talk now. You have voice lines.
yes,
Congratulations, you're now a character.
you've ascended from silent protagonist. Silent because you literally had no mouth.
None of the Warframes have mouths except for Grendel, whose mouth is on his stomach and also goes to a dimension where he digests you forever.
Yeah, his mouth does not speak; it only consumes. Um, but yeah, no, Teshin is conversing with the queens, the Grineer queens at the reservoir. Uh, over comms, not in person. That'd be way too easy.
Teshin is trying to like put off the task it seems he's been assigned because it seems to have to do with you a little bit, and he doesn't seem to want to really do that. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna leave. Bye. Uh, you keep on following him. You got to fight a specter of Teshin, which is like it's a hologram, physical hard light projection of him as he manages to escape.
Yep.
And you have to go throughout the system. I think find a few more hard light Teshins before you can finally start honing in on the signal where they're being projected from.
Yeah, he effectively deploys a bunch of duplicates of himself to massive.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you follow them, and you wind up at a like a very complex like Grineer asteroid base, where you have a brief little stealth segment in open space. You can navigate open space in a thing called an Arcwing. It attaches to your hips and lets you fly around. It's a nifty, cool thing. And you unlock it pretty early in the game. It's fun. It's fun. I like flying. Uh,
Like a
I say it's a stealth segment. Really, there's a Grineer ship going through, and there's a bunch of sensors, and you go on the other side of the sensors.
Yeah, you hide in the shadow of the ship, basically.
You get to the end of this like lane of asteroids, and you see seemingly where the Grineer Queens are stationed, and you realize why you've never been able to find them before. They've attached a giant fucking engine to a big ass asteroid and are just flying it around the solar system. It does not stay in one place ever at all. It just keeps going. And Yurteno really wants to find Teshin, really wants to question his ass, really wants to fight the queens, actually. And the Lotus is like, no, don't do that. There's like weird static going on over there. My communications won't be able to reach you. Come back to the orbiter. Let's regroup. We'll find another way in so that we can keep connection. And Yurteno's like, no, I'm gonna go in there because this thing's gonna move again.
And also, he called me a kid, and I'm
also,
not a kid.
Also, you called me a child, and I'm upset about that.
So you enter the worst place in the game, the Kuba Fortress.
I hate the Kuba Fortress.
Kuba Fortress is so difficult. This is like a major difficulty spike.
It's such a fucking nightmare to navigate too.
I've never had that problem personally, but hey, guess I'm just built different. Guess I'm built with a sense of direction in video games.
Damn, I got called out.
Yeah, on my Twitter.com.
My Twitter.com.
I don't even have Twitter.
Dang.
Anyway, you're
Your connection with the Lotus does go out, as does your connection with Ordis, who is the... We haven't talked about Ordis at all, and I really want to, but he is basically just he's your good buddy, your pal, your sweet cheese, your special boy.
Your sweet cheese.
Ordis is your ship, Cephalon. He takes care of your ship. Um, he also does mission control things every now and then.
Yes.
You lose connection with them, but he cares a lot about you. You lose connection with both of them as you fly towards the Grenier asteroid base, the Kuva Fortress, the penultimate Grenier asteroid base, which you slowly navigate while receiving some kind of like telepathic transmissions from the queens. Somehow, before eventually arriving in its deepest chambers, where the queens are situated. Teshin's also there, and Teshin's like, "Why the fuck are you here? I told you not to come here, dumbass." You go to fight the queens, but sure does fail immediately. You are immediately overpowered, telekinetically lifted up. The more fucked up queen leans into you and is like, "Who do you think conceived of these ugly metal cysts?" It's like some crazy shit's going on. And she uses her magical staff to form a drill and start burrowing in towards your mind. Ordis's like transmission comes back and is like, "Operator, there's a transference overload occurring. You need to cut the link between yourself and your Warframe. Cut the link!" And then shit explodes.
Oh no.
You wake up in the orbiter as your operator, as your flesh human kid self.
The flesh frame within the Warframe.
Gross. So Warframes are kind of already flesh. They're just that their flesh is metal.
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
You stand up. You move around as the operator now. Orders is like, "Hey, can you transfer back into your Warframe?" You're like, "I can try." Nope, can't do it. Well,
Let
maybe
me try. Nope.
maybe you have to charge your chair again. And it's like, "Okay, I can try." Nope, can't do it. Every time I try and do it, my hand fucking recoils
Explodes.
back. My hand explodes. Ordis is like, well, guess I have to kill you. Against his will, Ordis's programming has him start to vent the fucking ship out, because if you aren't the operator, if you no longer command the Warframes, you gotta die. However, Ordis does care a lot about you, and does manage to maneuver the ship to a place where you can just exit and be fine. And you do. Unfortunately, the closest point he could land at was a fucking mountaintop.
Yep.
But you slowly crawl. No, you don't crawl. You're moving at a crawl, though. You're walking very slowly. The fucking stupid jumpsuit you're wearing doesn't seem to be very thermally protective.
It was just, it was designed for space, not the cold.
Not for the cold, when space can be very, very cold. And also extremely, extremely hot.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's designed for temperate space.
Temperate space. Is such a thing even real?
Yeah, like somewhere close enough to the sun where you're blind but not hot or cold.
Where you're blind but not hot or cold? I mean, you don't need to be looking at the sun, right?
I mean, I guess, but you know, then the front half of you will be cold. I'd rather have a cold ass than the cold rest of me.
Then close your eyes.
Anyway, you're You're shivering your way through the mountain.
You come across a weird door. You go in it. There's all kinds of weird shit going on in this building. You find a little skeleton. You investigate it. You lean into it. You're like, what? What happened to you? Tashin fucking randomly shows up and is like, he died. Whether it's more like it says, he lacked the will to continue.
Anyway, now you must do the thing.
Now you
And
must
he,
do the thing.
He just
I had... It's like,
shoves you into a cave and locks the automated door to it.
locks the fucking door, and you hear him on the other side being like, I wished we could do this without pain, but it seems that you must be hurt in order to remember what it is you have lost. What the fuck? And you go deeper into the cave, you find a thing, kind of walk around it a little bit. It's like, I can try and shoot at this thing with my void beam that doesn't work. I guess I can try that again. Your hand recoils and you fall down a pit. When you wake up at the bottom of the pit, you have this weird thing happens where the background goes all red and warbly, and you hear the Grenier Queen talking to you about your memories from before. And it's like, what the hell? Anyway, you lurch back awake in that fucking pit. It's full of bones. There are many bones down here. And, yeah, one of them sure is impaled, like, right through your fucking shin. Just when you got a few moments of, like, normal movement speed in the cave, sheltered from the fucking blizzard. Too bad. Now you move at a snail's pace again. You go through a pretty difficult section where you have to evade these, like, big worm things.
The ravenous golden maws.
They are big machine worms that live in the bones.
They're Orokin fish.
They're Orokin eels, actually.
Die. Yeah, they're swimming around in the sea of bones they've created. And, they sure just fucking eat you if you aren't good at stealthing away.
You can't even realistically stealth. Most of the time, the moment you step on all of the bones, they know where you are, and you just have to get to the next piece of actual ground that isn't bones.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you hear Teshin talking, and saying weird shit. Doesn't quite make sense to you at the moment, but then it does in a second. Worth noting, this quest was changed because the mechanics about using the operator changed after a while, and I don't like the changes. I miss Void Blast. I want Void Blast back. It was a good ability. You're unlocking abilities as you go through this. And in the original version, which is what my brain chooses to remember, the first one you get is Void Blast, which you use to knock over a pile of rocks to access the next part of the cave. And when you do that, you get another thing from the Queen, who is incepting your mind. And she is talking about an event in the past aboard a colony ship called the Zeraman 10-0, the very event that made the Tenno in the first place. I'm just going to cover all this at once for the sake of brevity.
Yep. Fair.
A long fucking time ago, maybe before the Orokin Sentient War, or maybe near the beginning of it, probably before it started. Timeline's a little fucky.
It was before it started. The Tenno were created before the old war started because the old didn't know what to do with them, so they just kind of locked them up and didn't interact with them until they needed them.
The long time ago, back well before the old war, the Orokin were planning a void jump to the Tau system, which they had already sent the Sentients ahead to colonize for them. The Zeramin 10-0. Here's the thing. Lots of weird things about the Zeramin 10-0.
First of all, it was the first instance of attempted void travel.
At least
manned void travel, I should say.
Manned void travel that would go that far with a ship that big. But it went wrong. It went really, really, really wrong. The ship
How wrong it could have gone.
The ship got lost in the void for an unknown amount of time, but at least many years, before returning. And when it came back, the children aboard the Zeramin were twisted and changed and had weird, freaky powers that they couldn't.
All of the adults were dead because they'd gone fucking insane.
Yeah. You killed your parents with your own hands. This is what the Grineer Queen is slowly revealing to you each time she does the weird little mind invasion thing. Teshin is also narrating to you at first about your lost power, which you slowly regain. In the original version of the quest, you gain Void Blast, and then you get Void Mode, which is where you go invisible and undetectable, so you sneak across the bones that way. And you get Void Dash, which is a quick blink teleport to a place. After an update a while ago, this was changed. Now there is only Void Sling, which replaced Void Dash, and Void.
It merged the functions of Void Blast and Void Dash into one,
which I think sucks. I think that's a bad change. I miss Void Blast.
It's very clunky for intended purposes.
Give me back Void Blast. I want it back. Digital Extremes, give me Void Blast back, and my life is yours. That's all I want. After you've recovered most of your abilities, if not all of your abilities, though, Teshin, Teshin is the Queen's. At what point do you learn about the Yuvan Theater? That's after, right? That's after the quest?
No, that's right now, actually.
Oh, cool. That's my favorite scene in this quest, where you enter a thing called the Yuvan Theater, and you walk up to a mirror, and the other side of the mirror is reflected the Grineer Queen, who's entering your mind, and you vaguely learn what continuity is. See, the Orokin were immortal, right? But it's not conventional immortality. They would, every time their bodies got too old and decrepit, transfer their mind into a new body. But it's
willing or not.
Yeah, it's not a blank vessel. It is somebody else, and they overwrite their mind with the Orokin mind by invading it. And the Grineer Queen is trying to do this to you because she's
Grineer bodies fucking suck.
Grineer bodies fucking suck, and she's tired of living in a rotting corpse. And B, you've got sick-ass void powers, and she wants those.
Yeah, no. With your body, she would never need to do another continuity.
Yeah, she would be literally immortal because the Tenno possess quantum immortality. They cannot be killed in any way at all. Yippee! Every time you die, you either don't die or you alter reality so that you just are no longer dead. It's unclear, but you can't be killed. It seems like you may be aged. That's a question mark because you sure were in a cryopod for a long time.
Yeah, but I don't think you age.
I don't think the Tenno age.
Or at the very least, you age super slowly in the case of other you. Old man you. Um,
Old man, you.
it is also revealed in the Yvonne Theater that Teshin is a Dax, and the Dax are the grunt of the Orokin. And he can never defy his masters, which the Grineer Queens are Orokin and have the ability to just control his body.
It's less control his body and more like he can't physically defy their orders. Like he still controls his actions, but they have to be in line with their orders. But there's a tiny bit of leeway where it's like last time he was ordered to bring you to them, which he did do, but in like a weird roundabout way where there was the chance of failure. And he's currently aiding you within the mindscape, which they are unaware of. So like there is leeway there, and Teshin does do his best to like. He can't reinterpret the orders; he has to do them as he's ordered to. But since how he does it is still left up to him, he does try his best to do it in like the most confusing way possible. So that there's a chance that he actually fails at his job. I like Tashin. He's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, where are we in the war within?
Right after the Yvonne Theater, the operator shoots the void beam at the mirror that you're looking in.
Oh yeah, explode the mirror.
Which collapses this whole mindscape. Yeah, the mountain that you've been on this entire time is just, mental prison.
Yeah, turns out you've been in a mental prison since Ordis told you to cut the transference link. Literally, like half a second has passed in reality. And you do manage to cut the transference link. And you stumble out of your chair, this time, yes, in actual reality. And Ordis is like, I'm detecting a lot of transference energy coming from you? You demonstrate all your abilities to him. And then Ordis is like, well, unfortunately, we've lost the asteroid because it's moved. We've lost it. Like, wait a minute. My Warframe's still there. Ordis is like, but don't you need the chair to do transference? And like, not any fucking more, I don't. And you transfer back into your Warframe that's in the asteroid base. And as you rise out of the pool of fucking water that's in the middle for some reason, Heshin's like, why the fuck are you here again? I helped you get out of that fucking hole in your brain. Now I have to kill you, because I don't have a choice.
So you fight Teshin one last time.
While also fighting several of the other Queen's guards, and breaking some of the defenses around their, like, little dumb throne thing dais that they sit on.
Yes.
And eventually, you manage to take the scepter that signifies their control over Teshin from them. And since you hold it, and are maybe Orokin? The point is the Kuva scepter, not necessarily if you're Orokin or not.
Yeah. The way the Orokin species works is that whenever the game refers to Orokin, they're referring to... Orokin is more of a class than a species. They were humans back then.
Well, I mean, everyone is still humans now. They're just like...
But yeah, like, Orokin was...
I think we're being generous even calling the Orokin, like, humans.
Well, they were
Because they're...
You've seen Ballast?
Yeah, no, their subjects were human. They were genetically modified to be superior.
According to themselves.
Yeah, so the Orican was more of a class of aristocrats than anything.
Mm. Since you now hold the Kuva, that means you get to command Teshin. And Teshin looks at you and is like, please tell me to kill them. Please.
Yeah.
The whole
And you were
time,
given the option to let her escape, kill her yourself, or have Teshin kill her.
Yeah, the whole time throughout this quest, you've been getting like little options, mostly dialogue options, that change like your like character alignment on a little compass wheel, basically. This effect does like nothing mechanically. It is just like a cool thing. You can see like other players' morality wheel in their like profile, so it's like, oh, okay, so like those are the kinds of choices you've made in your thing. It's just nifty. It doesn't actually affect anything mechanically. It's just fun. I always command Teshin to kill him. I think he likes it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you enjoy killing the woman who has enslaved you for the past like 4 billion years or whatever?
I mean, I guess.
You guess?
I guess.
Come
I don't know.
on.
I have not been alive that long, nor have I ever been enslaved.
And you've never killed anyone, right?
Sure.
Olena,
What's up?
have you killed someone?
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, no, I've never been really like a slave or anything, so I would never know. For legal reasons, this is a joke.
For legal reasons, I'm hiring a private investigator with my no money.
With my no money. Oh boy, I'm so scared.
Why would you be scared? Why would you be scared of a private investigator?
I'm not. That's the joke.
I almost had it. Oh. The War Within quest ends with Teshin allowing Teshin and you going to the mountain, the real, actual, physical mountain. You take the stick with you. It's like, I don't know what to do with this. Teshin is like, well, to you, it may be more of a symbol than anything else. And your last fucking dialogue option thing is choosing what to do with the kuva that's attached to the staff. You can drink it, can throw it off the mountain, give it to Teshin. If you drink it, forget what happens.
Regardless of what you do, there is an unknown voice that calls you kiddo, and
speaks through your body.
yeah. And if you destroy the kuva, the voice will say, "You mad at me, kiddo? Did you forget? You owe me." If you give it to Teshin, it'll say, "Don't forget, kiddo, you're nothing without me." And if you drink the kuva, which is what I did, it'll say, "Hey, kiddo, what took you so long?"
I always give it to Teshin. I feel like he deserves to have it. I would never drink something that's like a fucking poison. No
But-
wonder your drifter's an old ass man.
But delicious kuva.
But delicious kuva. Look at this juice and tell me it looks delicious. Look at this like dark syrupy liquid with like glowing red flakes in it and tell me that looks like something that's good for you to drink.
I like syrup.
Do you like syrup that has chili flakes in it?
No.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's the end of the War Within.
There's so much more to. So much. Actually, no, we're actually almost there.
Yeah, we've got 4 more quests if you're counting Chains of Hera, which I want to, but
Yeah, we should talk about Chains of Harrow.
okay. And
The
after
Chains
that,
of
it's the
Harrow was
Possible
short.
Prologue, tiny. Sacrifice, not tiny,
Um,
and Prelude to War, the tiny.
Don't worry, Lena, we'll be faster.
We're already 15 minutes over.
Oh,
Big game.
sorry. Didn't know. Yeah, wow.
Cut out the faffing. We got a lot of faffing
but
in.
I still have to upload like the big extended edition,
No.
which has no editing.
Choose that time. Yeah, I did not see what time it was. Whoops.
I think it's gonna have
Sorry.
to be it's gonna have to be a 4-parter, lads. I'm sorry.
Oh,
All right.
wait, what does that mean?
It means I guess we're stopping here.
Is that what that means?
I guess. Unless you think you can like rapid fire, and I mean
Oh
rapid
boy,
fire.
we can't rapid fire the sacrifice.
Okay.
Absolutely not possible.
Okay, so we probably want to cut it off now.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
we've
I
got
don't
enough
have
stuff to make. We
Maybe we can like do Warframe Part 2 / Destiny Part 1.
Oh my
we
god.
can probably do that.
Because I don't think I think the remaining bits will only take like an hour.
Yeah, and I do also think that Destiny is going to take about this long.
Okay. What I just we're over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
As much as I've liked uploading 3-hour videos in the past, I don't know how willing I am to do that
Yeah.
more than like once.
Fair. Anyway, ending sound.
Is it gonna be what I think it is?
God fucking damn it. Hold on.
Is it not working again?
No, I fucking Discord switches my microphone every time I close voice mod.
Oh.
Weird.
Look at them. They come to this place when they know they are not pure. Behold the Tenno, come to scavenge and desecrate this sacred realm. Now I
See you
will
guys-
stop
See you guys
them.
next week.
Now
Yeah.
I
go.
am chained.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Through the energy of the Janus key, forever bound to the void. It is time. I will teach these trespassers the redemptive power of my Janus key.
You think
They
this is
will
long
learn
when
its
Peter said it at the
simple
start?
truth.
I did go through it
Cannot
faster
blame
than
these
fucking game
creatures.
does.
They are being led by a false prophet, an impostor who knows not the secrets of the void. Let it be known.
Okay. This is finally.
I have the thing. I stopped it early.
Thank God.